Egypt, officially the Arab Republic of Egypt, is a country in northeast corner of Africa. It has an area of 1,001,450 square kilometers. It is divided into 27 governorates. The country's capital city is Cairo. Arabic and Egyptian Arabic are its official and national languages, respectively. The Egyptian pound, EGP, is its official currency. It has 4 bordering regions that include the Gaza Strip, Israel, Libya, and Sudan. Admittedly, Egypt is one of the most fascinating early ancient civilizations in human history. Belly dance is an Arabic expressive and artistic dance originated in Egypt and that emphasizes complex movements of the torso. It has evolved to take many different forms depending on the country and region, both in costume and dance style, with Egyptian style and its famous traditional rhymes being the most common worldwide, having many schools around the globe practicing it. The pyramids of Egypt were built as tombs for the pharaohs and their royal families to link them to Ra, the sun god, and more than 130 pyramids have been discovered so far. The pyramids are huge. Imagine a structure weighing 6 times more than a 100-floor modern skyscraper. Better still, imagine a structure occupying 5 football fields and looking down upon the Statue of Liberty. The Pyramid of Giza, housing the King Khufu's bones, or is it mummy, was this large. It is believed that thousands, perhaps millions of Egyptians died building the pyramids. For their honored trouble though, they were buried in tombs near their pyramid they built for their revered pharaoh. The workers who built the pyramids were paid a daily dose of a gallon of beer. The first pyramid was built in 2600 BC by Egyptian architect Imhotep. The Imhotep was the first recorded physician, engineer, and architect. Cats were not your pet but were considered as sacred. For ancient Egyptians, having a cat and the purring in the house would guarantee good luck. Cats were not the only lucky creatures, though. Egyptian women could own property, carry out business, make doctors and become priestesses. The gods of Egypt were so numerous that practically everything had a deity in control, from human emotions to natural order and disasters. Woe unto whoever went against the wishes of the more than 1,000 gods. Every city had their favorite god. Although all gods were feared and held in awe, Ra, the Egyptian god of the sun, was the most revered of all. The honor of creation was bestowed on the river god, Num. The Egyptian mummy bandage could stretch up to 1.6 kilometers. By preserving the dead bodies, ancient Egyptians believed that the souls of the mummified would roam forever in the afterlife. As mummification process, the intestines and all internal organs except the heart were removed and placed in canopic jars. They sucked the brains from the head through the nose. Mummification didn't stop with pharaohs and the wealthy Egyptians. Archaeologists dug up a 15 feet mummified crock. Talking of mummified pharaohs, Ramses II, the greatest pharaoh ever, ruled Egypt for 60 years and had over 90 children born to 8 wives and close to 100 concubines. The honor of the first Egyptian pharaoh though goes to King Menes, who had to die in the jaws of a hippo after ruling for 60 years from 3200 BC. The Egyptian goddess of childbirth and fertility portrayed a bipedal hippo with the legs of a feline or cat. Pharaohs hid their hair inside the crown or a headdress referred to as nemes. While we're dining with the kings, meet the 6-year-old King Pipi II. The longest-serving Egyptian king, Pipi took the reign at the tender age of 6 and went on to rule for 94 years. Talk of a 6-year-old. Rather than face a tiny fly like a pharaoh, King Pipi was known to have slaves smeared with honey to attract flies away from him. Beating King Pipi's honey mischief, early pharaohs had their servants knocked dead to be buried with the king. Cleopatra, the scandalous yet powerful last ancient pharaoh who married her younger brother, was Greek. The incestuous act by Cleopatra and her kid brother was not an abomination in ancient Egypt. When a woman was next on the royal line, she was supposed to marry her brother to help her in her royal duties and to ensure she stays put and loyal to the royal family. Back to the seductive Queen Cleopatra, even the Grim Reaper had to submit to her allure when she decided to die on her terms. Death by the poisonous asp, making the end of the ancient pharaoh lineage. If you thought makeup was discovered or even perfected by the modern woman, you couldn't be far from the truth. Egyptians, women, and men alike wore stunning shapes and shades of makeup, referred to as kohl. The makeup was not just for beauty, but also for protection from sun rays as well as healing powers. The Egyptians played their version of dice by using sticks in place of dice, and even a game of chance called the Senet, dating back to 3500 BC. The beer was such a favorite drink of the ancient Egyptians that even the dead got the opportunity to get drunk through beer offerings. The Egyptians' first writing system, called hieroglyphs, was by 3300 BC. Over 700 Egyptian hieroglyphs have been recorded. Initially, Egypt was known by several names such as Kemet, Deshret, and Hwt Kopta. The Greeks, probably unable to pronounce it correctly, changed the Hwt Kopta to Egyptus. Go figure the origin of Egypt. The idea of 365 days, 12 months year started in the ancient Egypt. Again, beat the rest of the world to it and were the first to adopt the idea. These smart ancients invented the clock. The ancient Egyptians beat modern civilization to making the first toothpaste. They made the toothpaste from ashes and ox hooves powder mixed with burnt eggshells and pumice. Despite their long silky hair, the ancient Egyptians shaved their hair and instead wore weaves woven with human hair for the rich and wool and vegetable fiber for the poor. The ancient Egyptian peasants carried around a bag of bones from a mouse to cure the bedwetting affliction. The earliest peace treaty ever forged was by the ancient Egyptians. The treaty was between King Ramses II and King Hattusili of the Hittites in 1259 BC. The earliest workers' rights protest was staged in ancient Egypt during the reign of King Ramses III in the 12th century BC. Forget the athletic and slender representations of pharaohs. Mummy evidence shows that most pharaohs were overweight and perhaps diabetic. Ask the 15th century BC Queen Hatshepsut mummy. The latest evidence shows that the pyramids were built by the Egyptians and not slaves as earlier recorded. We have the 5th century BC Greek historian Herodotus to thank for the slave myth, or is it? The ancient Egyptian physicians practiced specialization as early as 450 BC. The use of moldy substances to cure infections by ancient Egyptian physicians suggests an early knowledge of antibiotics. Ancient Egyptians could as well be the first people to keep animals as pets. Evidence from Egyptian ancient tombs suggests that modern-like toilets were in use in the old. A 5,000-year-old dress was found lying in an ancient Egyptian tomb. The mystery of the lost city of Heraklion was finally solved after the city was found buried under the sea, 1,200 years later. Ancient Egyptians knew the comfort of a pillow. Only, theirs was made of stone. Perhaps we would not be gushing over exquisite engagement or wedding rings were it not for the ancient Egyptians said to have invented the tradition. We mourn the death of our pets by giving them a decent burial. The ancient Egyptians mourned their revered cats by shaving their eyebrows clean. Christianity was the dominant religion of ancient Egypt. Built between 2558 to 2532 BC, the Great Sphinx of Giza is the world's largest monolith statue. The mystery behind the Sphinx's missing nose and beard has fueled a series of theories and myths. A 1378 AD myth has a Sufi Muslim cleric hanged for vandalism after he destroyed the Sphinx nose in a fit of fury over the peasant offerings to the Sphinx. Egypt is home to one of the world's largest dam, Aswan High Dam, built to contain the raging waters of the world's longest river, the Nile. The 2011 Egyptian revolution left as around 800 people dead, culminating in the dramatic resignation of President Hosni Mubarak. And out of the 2011 ashes rose Facebook Jamal Ibrahim, a name given to a daughter by a father, grateful for the role Facebook played in the 2011 Egyptian revolution.